the feminists have managed to manipulate the entire narrative around this issue to say women never initiate, and if they do, it's because they're in fear of, this coercive control from this man, and it's a retaliation, and, never any acknowledgement of this fact that as I said, the international research shows very often women do initiate, but that's seen as irrelevant. And as you say, because men are seen as always capable of standing up for themselves, if a man is being physically attacked, that's dismissed. Did you ever in a situation where you felt there was a violent man who was being a victim, and the police were reluctant to take that seriously? And what would happen if you wanted to take that seriously?
So are you meaning like a male victim of domestic violence not being taken seriously? You go into a situation and you see, maybe she's made the phone call, but, he's got blood all over him or whatever, and he says, she has been attacking me, and you believe him. What would you do? I would arrest her and lock her up. So in those situations, it's actually really rare. I very rarely had a man ring and say this has been, and in fact, I can't think of one instance where a man has actually phoned the police to ask for help because of a domestic violence situation. Often it's the woman who's called or something, and you go, and then sometimes you're confronted, with a male victim. And then, unfortunately, there's almost like a stigma attached to a man admitting that he's a victim of this, because often I, as an investigator, would speak to the man and say, what's happened? And he wouldn't want to talk about it, or he would be like, oh, it's nothing, just don't worry about it. And meanwhile, she would be speaking to my offsider, saying all kinds of allegations about him, and he was hesitant to kind of come forward. And there is a stigma, there is this different mentality with men. But as a police officer, me personally, I can speak for me. If I was confronted with a male victim, I would love nothing more than to lock up the woman who did that to him. And it's the same, like with all police. We want to do the right thing. And I'm not denying that there are female victims who are victims of awful men out there. There is no doubt in my mind that it happens. It's just really hard to have any meaningful solutions to the problems when no one's being truthful about what's actually going on. It's almost like you can't talk about things plainly. And that's therein where the issue lies.